All right, welcome to week nine's first activity. And as you can see by the dashboard that I have in front of you, or at least the report I have in front of you, I've already built something up and I want you to get here. And you can see all the values. So I'd hit pause, take a look at what's been added and what's not been included. Take a look at what choices I've made in the visualizations and replicate this. That's your first task. Your first task to show that you figured out the tools or to figure out the tools enough to be able to recreate this particular visualization. Because as I mentioned in the course material, you can't really do predictive analytics without AI or machine learning or deep learning capabilities. However, we can position the data that's available to us in such a way that we can predict certain outcomes. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to come right, refine and go through this data. And so that's what I'm going to show you this week is how to actually move things around to get better understanding of what you're looking at so you can now to try and predict some messaging you want to take out of this. All right, so hit pause now, get your table looking like mine. And once you've done that, I'm going to show you how we're going to refine it. All right. When you're finished, just hit play. So welcome back. You should be looking at something like this right now. And you're going to see leave or not. And we don't know what leave or not means, right? So if we look over here on the values, leave or not has a drop down. And the interesting thing about it's currently some, and some is usually the default, but we are more interested in our average. And so to understand what the average means, we need to know what the minimum is. And we select the minimum, you see it refreshes and it says the minimum is 0, right? And when we take a look at the maximum of leave or not, it's going to tell us that the maximum is 1. And so what that basically tells us now is that 0 means people did not leave, and 1 means people did leave. And so what we're going to do now is take a look at the count of that, and it'll tell us how many people left in that category, right? So it'll tell us that 1,400 people left with a bachelor's, 1,400 people left with a master's, and only 69 people left with a PhD. So it now gives us some insight and some intelligence. The next thing we're going to look at is age. And again, you'll notice that age is done to the sum. And so what we want to do again is explore that minimum age, 22. We're going to take a look at the maximum age. That's going to be 41. You see it's 40 with the PhD. And then we go to average, and now we know what our average age is. And so our average age is 29.4 something for each of these. We get a good idea of what that means basically because we're working from a 22 to 41 type range. And so it gives us a little bit of information. So next thing we want to do is look at the payment tier. And I'm going to let you guys analyze that payment tier as well. Take a look at the mins and maxes. But we're going to look at the average and we're going to figure out what that average means when we take a look at it. All right. And you should be able to deduct what that means when you take a look at it that way. Now, with this, we have a chart basically that allows us to do some predictive analysis of male or female employees, what the propensity is to do a variety of different things based on their education level. All right. So when you're there, you can take a look back now and see what you need to do with the information you have in front of you. Again, as usual, if you got any questions, please bring them to class. We'll talk about them openly. Take a look at this as well. And I look forward to seeing your responses. Have a great week, everybody.